This is Load Bearing Beams, and I am Matt Stokes. Who am I with?
Laci Roth. I wasn't ready.
What are we doing here? We're talking about movies.
We're talking movies.
This is our podcast / YouTube show, Load Bearing Beams. We talk about a movie that we watched a long time ago. What's it like now? I don't know. We're talking about Lake Placid this evening. 1999 picture.
I like your podcast / YouTube voice. It's intense.
Thank you. I decided I'm going to be intense from now on.
Oh.
Crocodile feature. Love the creature feature, you might call it.
If you like to rhyme, yes.
I have always been my whole life haunted in my dreams, and I'm not kidding. Have dreams regularly about crocodilians.
From the land of crocodile.
The family that includes alligators, crocodiles, gharials, and caimans, and I have dreams about them.
Pause. What is a gharial?
It's like a crocodile that has the super thin snout, like a sawfish sort of thing.
Know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Okay, did not know those had a different name. Go on.
So I'm terrified of them. I really do find them scary, and also can't look away, like you with like that wasp nest on our porch.
Yeah. I still go and check for it. It's been gone for a year.
That's what I'm like with crocs and more alligators because of where we live, and they're everywhere, man.
Do they? Why this more than it's some other animal specifically?
Well, it's like they are dinosaurs. We live on an earth with dinosaurs. They're just called crocodiles and alligators, and like in the United States where we live, there's 5 million alligators. They're everywhere. I saw one today.
Yeah, most of them are outside.
Yeah.
Right. You always hear about the Florida gators. Nope. We live on the swamp.
That's true. But like with sharks, attacks, fatalities by alligators / crocs are actually very rare, although they kill more people than sharks do.
May I venture to say why, for maybe this might be one of the reasons why you are scared of them, but this is a big difference for me. There's no body of water where you can totally rule out that a crocodile is, where a shark isn't just going to randomly be in our pond.
That's right, yeah.
And my brother, we hired him to clean our pond because it looked like grass, and he was just chopping up some, I don't know, lily pad roots, whatever.
And he was in the pond.
He was in it, and we didn't realize
like 5 feet of water.
And we truly do live, like, in
the swamp,
5 minutes from the swamp. We're in it. We just happen to be on a piece of land that is not the marsh. We did not know how deep the pond was. We bought the house a year ago, and it was we were told 2 to 3 feet, and it's like 4 or 5, but that's big enough difference for me. And he chopped a piece of the root, and it popped up, and it looked identical to an alligator head. And the way it just kind of bobbed up, we both freaked out. I'm just saying, it's completely possible that at any time we have an alligator in that pond. And that is a huge difference between being scared of anything else.
Well, and sharks can't come onto land.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. They could be scurrying up any side of our street at any moment.
Yes, just to surprise you.
And Sully always walks way too close to the sides where I'm sure there is an alligator waiting to bring him into the deeps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you look up the statistics and it's always like, no, you are way more likely to drown than you are to be killed by an animal, by an alligator or a croc.
Wait, but drowning seems super common. That doesn't make me feel, you're way more likely to get in a car wreck than die via croc.
The point of those statistics is to show that we devote disproportionate attention to things that are less likely to happen than more mundane things like car accidents and drowning. But getting back to why I picked this movie, because I picked this movie. This is my load bearing beam of the episode, and I watching this movie, a few nights ago. I was like, I saw this movie way more than I thought I did, because every single scene, like, I kind of knew.
Yeah. Wait, can I ask? We're going to now do this on each episode. Can you tell me what you thought you'd feel when you watched this movie?
I thought that I would think this movie's kind of fun, and like, I can recognize this is not good, but like when we did The Mummy Returns, like I can tell that's not a good movie, but it just checks all these boxes that that make me like, oh, it's fun. I can forgive it for all of its faults. And then
what cringe did you think might be waiting for you?
I thought it'd be very cringy.
In what way?
I thought that it would take itself very seriously.
Maybe it's the name.
And I remembered an incredible amount of bad CGI.
Huh. Okay.
So I think I thought of it as a very sort of straightforward late 90s kind of Jurassic Park clone without the budget of a Jurassic Park and without, a giant director like Steven Spielberg, and without big stars, with kind of like, oh, Bill Pullman, he was in Independence Day. He can maybe carry this too. So I thought I would find this movie a little charming and be like, they just don't make movies like this anymore, do they? And then you would be annoyed and think there's no one to care about and that it's not exciting. And
I knew that I had seen it several times, so I knew there had to be something waiting for me, but I did expect it to take itself too seriously. I think I'd mixed Anaconda with this one a little bit, just this like really serious need to find this thing, and everybody suspects the other one of doing something nefarious or something, or being there for the wrong reasons, or I don't know. Like there's just as many people to be worried about in addition to the creature. That's where I was wrong on my assumption about this. Go on with yours. With what you were saying.
I did. Well, that's what I expected watching this movie. Like, I definitely liked it when I was a kid. I also realized I must have pretty much only seen this on TV because I didn't realize this is very much an R-rated movie. It has a lot of gore and a lot of cursing, a lot of people saying fuck and shit.
A lot of, including Betty White.
And
calling someone a cocksucker.
So right there you get some points. So it was almost like I'd never actually seen this movie because I'd only seen the TNT edit. And I remember I had a VHS, that I recorded it on. And that's probably where I watched it over and over. Also, it's one of those movies where the second half was a lot more familiar than the first half. So I must have only watched that part over and over again.
Well, what I noticed right away, and what I immediately appreciated about it, was that I feel like this movie gets right how people actually talk. For the most part. I mean, there's still a couple characters who say crazy shit, but like, for instance, Bridget Fonda's character, she like the fourth word she says is, "Oh, hi, how are you? Fuck off." Yep. Talking to her boss / ex-lover. And she calls somebody when she's mad at them, she calls them a fuck shit.
Yep. I grabbed that clip because I thought, oh, that's my wife right there.
So I would have immediately
let's just go ahead and let's let it rip. This is Bridget Fonda playing Laci Roth.
No one actually saw anything. Yes, I realize that, sir. But something flipped us over, and I doubt very much if it was a mink. I am a paleontologist. I work for a natural history museum. I am not some...
I don't believe her.
Thank you. It's so rewarding to imagine my tax dollar finding its way to you, you fuck shit.
You are a saucy flirt.
That is Bridget Fonda playing Kelly, trying to get U.S. Fish and Wildlife onto the scene to help take care of this croc problem, because a paleontologist, not someone who studies crocodiles,
right,
and a bunch of local Maine cops. Not even, what are they, forest rangers?
They're like your go-to cops, or they live in Maine.
Yeah, they live in the state of Maine. They're Mainers.
Okay.
And then Oliver Platt, who's a rich Playboy mythology professor.
Right.
And this is not...
Who got wind immediately of an alligator-like disturbance.
Yeah, so he showed up.
Like, they're keeping it quiet from even wildlife and fisheries. So how the hell did he...
But he found out. He's
really plugged in.
His little birds are everywhere.
The birds being probably their boss, her boss, the one that she was sleeping with.
But he has these people everywhere. He's connected. I was thinking, like, how, a helicopter comes down and she's like, oh God, he's here. And I was like, how would she know who he is? Why would...
I thought everybody has a helicopter, Matt.
Yes, but why is she aware of this mythology professor who's obsessed with crocs? She doesn't study crocs. But I guess they're going to she's going to conferences and stuff. There's all, how close are crocodiles to dinosaurs? And then he's showing up and he's a big donor and stuff. Yes.
Well, when someone requests a helicopter pad with their hotel accommodations, you just tend to remember.
That's true.
And that's so funny that you mentioned the conference circuit, because of course that's how she's interacted with him so far. Just total blowhard. Wackadoo, kind of charming.
He got drunk.
Always partying.
She got too drunk at a hotel bar, or they hooked up.
What?
They did. He says they did.
Oh my God.
I believe him. I believe Oliver Platt.
That is clearly just to get under her skin. There's no fucking way.
No, I believe it. I believe that she would have gotten too drunk at a croc conference.
I do not think that was meant to be taken seriously.
I think it was meant to ask questions. This is a rich, dense text. It doesn't give you all the answers. Should we just go ahead and spill the beans, though, about this movie?
It fucking rocked.
It fucking rocks and rolls.
And it was 2 minutes long. It's like a Disney short.
This movie is 82 minutes long. That's okay. So there's a few reasons why I wanted to watch this movie. For a few years, I've been circling Lake Placid and been like, do I need to
kind of like Hector in your little helicopter,
looking for a place to land to do a water landing on my little pontoons. Is Lake Placid good now? 82-minute running time. Jesus Christ. It's like you're not even watching a movie. This cast. You got 4 main actors, all of them delights.
All of them charisma city and chemistry city.
I think in recent years I've been like, is Brendan Gleeson one of my favorite actors? I think he might be. But then also, Bridget Fonda. Oh, hey.
Fucking delight.
Love her.
And it reminded me of It Could Happen to You, the movie with Nicolas Cage and her where they split a lottery ticket, I want to say. Anyway, she's fun. She's funny and relatable.
What else is about her, though?
Single white female. Oh, okay. I thought that might be coming.
Yeah.
I feel that way about Bill Pullman, so, samesies.
The growl? Cat noise?
No, there's something about him, but I do instantly go Casper dad with it, and then that makes it less sexy. But he's sexy in this.
He's only, if, Independence Day's maybe his only, conventional leading man role, but, he always played either the other guy in a romantic comedy or just, a really goofy, beta cuck bitch.
Was he in While You Were Sleeping or something?
Yeah.
Yes. But he's
Sleepless in Seattle is the example of that. He's always sneezing. He's like, I've got allergies, and Meg Ryan's like, really? I'm gonna marry you when Tom Hanks.
Wait, but while you were sleeping or while you were out, wherever the fuck that movie is, he is the love interest.
I've never seen it.
It's good.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of those movies.
So he's not playing the Bill Pullman. He's playing the romantic lead.
Right.
Is he the one who? Oh, so he's that's the movie where he's in a coma and he wakes up with no memories. Wait, is he in the fucking
coma? No, he's the brother of the guy in the coma. And the guy in the coma is the one she was pretending to be in a relationship with. So her falling in love with the brother while he's in a fucking coma is very taboo, and they can't. That's the tension. Besides the fact that she's lying to the whole family.
Why is she pretending to?
Okay. Have you ever seen the Bob's Burgers episode with Tina at the mall and she sits next to a boy who's sleeping?
No.
And then he falls on her shoulder and then his 2 best friends walk up at that exact moment while it looks like they're cuddling. And it's 2 and they won't believe her that she's not the girlfriend of that boy. And finally she's like, fuck it. Yes, I'm the girlfriend. So that's miniature.
It's that?
It's that. Okay. Let me see. While
Laci looks up while you were sleeping, I will talk some more about why I had been circling Lake Placid.
Sorry.
I've always loved creature features. Jurassic Park, growing up movie, probably I've seen the most in the 6 years since we did our episode on Jaws.
Excuse me.
I have, probably revisited it every year and realized it is my favorite movie.
Really?
Period. Jaws. Absolutely. And it's getting to be almost the 4th of July. It's time to turn it on again.
I mean, if the feet are in the water,
you might as well jump in.
Shark risks. I would like a shark risk in this water, or I'm not going in it.
Jaws was Lake Placid, very indebted to Jaws in many ways. One of the ways is you take 2 mismatched sort of alpha males who seem like they don't They don't fit together, but over the course of the movie realize they really like the other guy.
And that's my favorite arc.
Yes.
Is the excuse me, I'm not going to stumble around for words and people's names. Okay. Oliver Platt and then the Brendan Gleeson character. I could watch a whole movie about that.
Absolutely.
And I did not remember Bill Pullman being my third favorite male in this movie, but he is. Like, his character is like, I could take him or leave him.
He's the one that you could eliminate from the movie, and it wouldn't really change.
But you do kind of need his energy, or lack of energy, because the other two are so...
He's the straight man. He's the conventional leading man. But this movie... It's like, how could anybody watch it and not think this is a goof? This is supposed to be a silly movie. This is not supposed to be your typical. But the thing about that is, starting with Jaws. Not starting with, but Jaws was such a big hit in 1975. In the 70s, after that, you have a trend of movies where you basically, the name of the movie is the name of the dangerous animal: grizzly, piranha, orca, the killer whale.
Anaconda.
Alligator. Anaconda's later, but
just really wanted to say it.
Of these movies, and they're not all great
King
movies,
Kong.
but they're very fun to watch. And I've watched a lot of them in recent years, and they have their charm. So at the same time, I've watched a bunch of those in recent years. I got very into 2 years ago the Friday the 13th series, which I had been snootily dismissing my whole life.
Oh, I thought these were like lifelong treasures of yours. I didn't know this was a recent.
Not Friday the 13th.
Oh.
No, I was like, that's the bad series. Again, this is all because I'm so...
Patrick series. He's the one that's into the...
No,
your
he
best
likes
friend.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, I totally confused the two. Sorry. Continue.
And if I would have had a series, I would have said it was Halloween.
Oh, sure.
But, it just... My fucking whole story is, even though I haven't cared what like Roger Ebert or Leonard Maltin thinks about a movie in 15 years, because at a certain age I was so just whatever they said about a movie just lodged in my brain.
Yeah.
I still have a gut reaction when I see a movie like like somebody who gets hypnotized to not smoke.
Are Leonard Nimoy, Maltin, and Ebert, they're your architects. They built the house. I'm just doing a load-bearing being reference, but anyway, you had help building this brilliant. That's why you're such a good film buff now, is that you actually had guidance to tell you where to spend your time. Where I just watched whatever garbage.
But shitty guy. I mean, it's.
But you have a much more refined. You are the movie person in this relationship, and you have impeccable taste. I'm just saying, from an early age, you had a little bit of a roadmap.
Yes, it was a very narrow roadmap. Very
yes, conventional.
Yes, and made me think, especially genre movies, which are now, I think, one are the movies that tend to last, and just the things that I like the most. I had an ingrained sort of dismissal of things that weren't elevated to like, this is good even for a...
I don't know what genre movie mean. I don't know what you mean.
Sci-fi, action, basically anything that isn't...
categorical.
A drama, or I guess a comedy. So genre, sci-fi, action, horror, fantasy, even...
Satan.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure. So, things that critics would tut-tut about. That's not real. Those aren't real movies.
Wait, so what are real? I feel like there's nothing left.
Like Kramer versus Kramer.
Like period piece?
Out of Africa. Like the movies that won Best Picture every year. Like The English Patient or a historical epic.
That's what I just said, period piece.
Okay.
Okay, so it's called a historical epic. That's what I was looking for. Something based on a true story, perhaps.
So wait, where are we?
I don't fucking know. Help me.
Okay, let's go back
Bring
up
me
the
home.
levels. These guys were my architects.
Oh,
and
architects.
because they didn't tell me, because I didn't have a lot of different film people I listened to, that,
Yes.
hey, horror movies, even long-running series with sequels, are worth considering, and they're worth taking seriously and worth loving because they are made with such love and craft and joy. And
that's true.
So anyway, this is 2 years ago. Watched all the Friday the 13th movies and realized these were missing from my life. I love them. I mean, they're varying degrees of quality, but the best one is Friday the 13th Part 2, directed by Steve Miner. And he also directed Part 3, and then he directed a very good Halloween sequel, Halloween H2O. Directed a movie called Big Bully, which I watched recently, and I thought this might be a Laci movie. Did you watch?
No.
Oh, it's Rick Moranis, and it starts with him narrating his childhood, a lot of kids riding bikes.
What year?
96.
Huh.
And
I don't know how I missed that one.
So
is there kid danger?
There is, but it's his story. He was a kid, and he was bullied and beaten up by a kid who grows up to be played by Tom Arnold.
Oh, and I'm sure I did see it once. It probably just I'm sure I could watch it and tell you what missed the mark. There are very specific things that make this something rewatchable to me.
Okay. Anyway, I watched that a few weeks ago and I was like, this is better than it has a right to be. Anyway, so Miner also directs like Placid. That's one of the reasons I've also in the past few years been circling. I'm like, I need to give that another shot. So
yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to this moment when we watched Lake Placid, and
it rocked my ass
20
off.
minutes into the movie, I was like, am I crazy or is this good? And I expect you to say you are crazy because I've done that before.
Okay, but like it had so many laughs already. I mean, I laughed every couple minutes, and you started it off by saying this is supposed to be a horror comedy, or was that what you said?
I said this is labeled horror comedy.
I was just like, comedy. I don't remember this movie being funny.
Yeah.
And then that's all this movie was. I didn't even care about any of the other stuff.
That's the thing I wanted to say is in the lineage of creature features and even Anaconda, which you mentioned, comedy often goes hand in hand. These movies know that they're silly. And so while they kind of work as straightforward action, thriller, horror, there is usually an element of comedy or something that really heightens it so that this is absurd.
Oh, see, and I don't take it. That's what worked about this for me is I felt it was a believable amount of comedy because I feel like that is what's missing in the melodramatic movies, the movies that just don't hit the right chord. They take themselves too seriously, like you said. And it's like, even in the worst conditions, in the most dire of circumstances, real people are always trying to elevate the add levity. Because it's the way we expel our stress. Like it is what people do.
That's the thing. If this movie has an idea, it's like, what would
people really do?
There's an actual supersized crocodile where there shouldn't be a crocodile. Okay. Some actual real life people have to deal with it. What would happen? And that kind of is this.
It is right, because they don't spend a ton of time thinking about safety. It's just like there's all these moments that remind them, oh shit, there's a crocodile out there. Because for the most part, they're building relationships. They're interacting. They're kind of having a good time.
Yeah.
And they're camping. And I thought it was really realistic that when Bill Pullman's character questions Bridget Fonda's like, why are you here? And I wrote it down, like, stop asking her why she's here. He's asked like 5 times. And I'm thinking, yeah, but why is she there? And then she's like, just let me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
Well, she shouldn't be there. I mean,
it doesn't make sense. But I don't want to go home. I'm part of a thing right now. And she even says it at one part. She's like, I've just never been part of a thing.
Yeah. She is sent. We can go through the movie a little bit, but I did want to say that this movie was written by David E. Kelly, who is the TV powerhouse creator of Ally McBeal and The Practice, Chicago Hope, Boston Legal, recently Big Little Lies.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't all of those, and I've not seen any of them except for Big Little Lies, have like empowered women characters?
I believe so. I can't say that about, I mean, Ally McBeal, but I can't say, I don't, it seems like more woman focused, but he's TV powerhouse producer, creator. They talk about the David E. Kelly universe of shows.
Okay.
But he wrote this script on spec.
Fully developed women characters is maybe what I mean. Like women that aren't just talking about men. Like what's that rule?
The Bechdel test.
Right. Like just from that list, it kind of sounds like he might have just been a little more thoughtful when it came to what he gave the women to do.
I think that on paper, Bridget Fonda's character could be a pretty one-dimensional.
Oh yeah,
like sort of just.
I'm not saying this is part of it. I just happen to like her.
Yeah,
that worked out here, but yeah, all she's doing is talking about relationships and men.
Yeah, so he wrote this script that was like this hot commodity, but of all the things that work about this movie, I would not say the script is.
No,
this is
right.
This is really basic. Apparently, the actors got to improvise a lot. They were encouraged to talk over each other.
I love it.
Just try to play it like you were actually doing this. So. Okay, but just wanted to spotlight David Kelly. The main character Bridget Fonda plays is named Kelly. The director is Steve Miner. And the beginning of the movie at a hospital, they say, paging Dr. Miner. So in this movie, you got these people putting their names in.
Hey.
But this movie opens. This is not a lake called Lake Placid. This is something else. Lake something else.
Oh.
But the movie's called Lake Placid.
Yeah, it is.
And we zoom in on Brendan Gleeson. What's his character's name?
Sheriff Hank something.
Hank. Okay. Yes, they say that a lot. Hank. So we're coming in. Hank is on a boat with a beaver guy, a wildlife guy who's going to go
tag some beavers.
Tag some beavers. Okay. And,
not a euphemism.
And we go into Brendan Gleeson. And we're like, ooh, love Brendan Gleeson. He's this real local Maine cop. And the first line of the movie, he says, "They actually pay you for this to tag beaver."
That was a good Maine, Scotland mixture, Ireland. Whatever.
I was like, oh boy, okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Old Flanagan.
Oh, he does not have it. I think after that very first line, it's very convincing. Just generic American
I think
accent.
Your brain kind of just tweaks it
Auto-filled.
enough. Yep.
I just expected, the Banshees of Inisherin.
No. That's not, I mean the opposite. I mean, I think the accent remained bad the entire fucking time, but he's so likable, and you believe his character for every other thing that he's doing on screen, that it's like, okay, no, he just sounds like an American because he's supposed to in your brain.
Okay, maybe.
But I promise, if you pick any random clip of him in this movie and play it, you'd be like, whoa, that's a terrible American accent.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
Well, the beaver guy goes under, and he goes to a beaver lodge. Love beavers. Beavers are great because they build dams, which like affects the infrastructure of the ecosystem of the water. They build little homes for themselves to live in called lodges, and that just sounds nice. A lodge.
Wait, so they're like they're under things, but not underwater.
They build a lodge that has water above it, but inside is hollowed out. And there's part of it is above, but they're very
like
good
frogs.
Little beavers. And also they are
like a busy beaver.
That's right.
They're an eager one.
They are monogamous, or at least
the ones you know.
And they will have kids, and then when the kids get older,
they go to college.
The kids help the parents raise the new kids.
Oh, they must be good parents.
They are good parents. They teach their older kids how to build dams and lodges.
I mean, as long as you've got a lodge, that sounds like living.
You are living good.
What do they do in the winter, those guys? It's got to be cold.
Oh, I don't know.
They're in Maine.
I didn't get that far in Wikipedia.
Hopefully it's a sweat lodge.
Hopefully.
Okay. A little lodge humor.
But this movie isn't about beavers.
Oh.
It's about Brendan's and Bridget's. And, and
Pullman's.
And so Brendan Gleeson's beaver friend gets attacked by a giant croc in the water. We don't see the croc. This is, the Jaws don't show the monster until way late in the movie.
Oh, there's a good reason why they don't show that ugly fucking thing. Yeah, continue.
But he gets bitten in half, and it is very good shot when the guy comes. Brendan Gleeson pulls him out of the water and doesn't realize he's been bitten in half. So just his upper.
But they get the weight right. Like the amount he struggles to pull out that half man, and then he falls back like it were a whole body. It feels very real what just happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go to Bridget Fonda, who's working at the museum. She lives in New York City.
Oh,
and this
wrote
movie
down,
has thoughts on New York.
Yes, I wrote down a note. This is like prime big city hatred time. This is the era of Pace Picante commercials. New York City.
That, and she's doing like this weird trendy thing called yoga.
Oh, gross.
She's
Does she have
breathing.
a phone in her satchel?
Yeah.
I'll bet.
I bet she does.
Oh, cancer of the brain she'll get.
She's doing these heavy breathing things because she's stressed. She's a neurotic New Yorker, guys. Let's just be honest. And, well, it's revealed that she was having sex with her boss, Adam Arkin.
She's having a relationship.
With Adam Arkin. They broke up. And as a result, he wants to send her away to Maine.
Wait, he didn't just break up. He started dating her friend and coworker.
Yeah,
So that's kind of a big deal.
that is a big deal. You're right. Sorry, Kelly.
That's okay.
She gets sent. He sends her to Maine because he hears about this. We found a tooth. They found a tooth on a boat.
Well, they call dentists and they call paleontologists, and then their work is done.
This is weird.
It's very weird.
This is a weird story hook. So Brett, I don't know what ate this guy, but I found this tooth. Maybe you could figure it out. And they're like, well, maybe this
Who else would you
paleontologist.
send to?
I don't know.
A vet? Someone that works with animals?
If you want to be generous to the movie, it's like, yeah, this is all fitting into none of these people know what they're doing. They called somebody who answered and seemed like they knew what they were doing and was willing to help, so they're accepting the help. We'll send you our paleontologist lady.
They're sending us a lady
Okay, yeah, all right.
to the woods.
So she goes up there, and we meet Bill Pullman, who's the sheriff.
I don't know. Is he wildlife and fisheries, or is he with the cops? Yeah, he's not a cop because the deputy, the lady cop, is with Brendan Gleeson's team. So he must be wildlife and fisheries.
All right.
The Jack character, the Bill Pullman. I don't know. He is a different official who has jurisdiction. So I do think wildlife and fisheries.
And is at this point that she looks at she goes to the hospital and Brendan Gleeson's like, well, we got to go look at the body. And she's like, ew, in the morgue? Gross. But she goes in and okay, yes, this does look like a crocodile bite.
No, that's the tooth's in that's why she had to look at the body, right? The tooth was in there.
Okay.
I think.
We now learn, well, wait, crocodiles don't come up here. Now, crocodiles in the United States, the only part of the United States they go to is Florida. The only part they're found in. The American crocodile is only found in Florida.
Is that because they miss their gator buddies?
They live close to their gator buddies and intermingle. But
why?
But that's the only part of America that crocodiles live in. And then alligators only live up as far as the Carolinas. They're cold-blooded animals. They need warm temperatures. But
are there a lot of South American alligators?
There are, yes.
Okay.
And I believe the American crocodile does live in South America as well.
He's well-traveled.
I guess.
2 places.
But crocodiles they've been moving. They've been moving, we find out. Weird migration patterns of crocodiles. Okay.
Right.
Oliver Platt shows up.
Okay.
He is a mythology professor and he loves crocodiles.
Eccentric.
He is eccentric.
And hilarious.
What do you think? So you like this guy?
I fucking love him.
Okay.
I even thought, like, if anyone was going to get a date, if I was there, it maybe would be him. I don't know. It just wouldn't be Bill Pullman. It'd either be the sheriff or the. I mean, there's something very endearing about him. At first, you could think he's going to be a sleazy, gross playboy, whatever. But no, he's harmless and he's funny and
he's fun.
And something else I noticed about the movie after we watched it is there's not one bad guy. There's no one there for nefarious reasons. No one's up to anything. No one wants a sample of the alligator or whatever. There's no. I can't think of another movie where there's not any bad human or human up to something. It's a human you don't like.
There's nobody trying to. We can put this into the military and drop this under Afghanistan.
Right.
But like Jurassic Park doesn't have, like, I guess Wayne Knight you could say is a bad guy, but
yes,
in Jurassic Park, there's no antagonistic human.
Well, because there's all those dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. But
and in Jaws, there's no antagonistic. The mayor is getting in Roy Scheider's way, but
exactly.
Nobody's on the shark side or trying to study the shark for its military applications.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're right there. You're right there. There's just sometimes when we watch these movies, I struggle to find one person that I root for, and in this movie, I struggle to find someone I don't. And Betty White she nailing that dirty grandma talk.
Yeah, Betty White's in here.
She's great.
And this is a few years before she like really resurged and sort of became like a meme. Right. So it's like, it's trite to say it, but Betty White's great. She's a delight in this movie.
Yes, she is.
And she is doing her foul-mouthed old grandmother shtick, but hey.
The timing, though, great timing. To quote Betty White, if I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck it.
So what's her story? What's Betty White's? Brendan Gleeson explains nobody lives around this lake except for this old couple, and then also some teens sometimes come in to skinny dip.
To get a noodle.
I think that's a little nod to Steve Miner. Because this movie, I like to think it takes place in the Friday the 13th universe.
All right.
It has
I see what you're
lake,
saying.
woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Placid. Totally. Right? But somehow they've also got the Betty White and her husband before he passed away. They have cows and they have like a whole farm. It doesn't seem very practical, but yeah. She just likes to live alone out there on the water.
But she reveals that she killed her husband.
She first says she killed him because he was in pain, dying of something terminal or whatever. And because she's an old person, they're just like, well, okay, not going to arrest you.
She hit him with a frying pan, I think, she says. Later, we reveal this isn't true. She's been feeding the crocodile. She thinks the crocodile is her pet.
But she didn't feed him her husband. She did, but the crocodile ate him because...
The crocodile took him. He wasn't supposed to.
Because he was supposed to take a horse they were bringing out there. No, 2 horses got loose. I don't know. He thought because they always do bring him food at the shore, oh, the lovely old lady's brought me this food, who is her husband. And that's how he died.
But it is funny that, we grew up in Louisiana. What do they always tell you about alligators?
Don't feed them.
Don't feed them, yes, because it will stop being afraid of you.
Yeah.
And may one day eat you. And that's literally what happens here. Is she feeds the crocodile must have followed him at home when he was out like deep sea fishing.
Yep.
And that's why it's here. And they're feeding it. I love how simple that is.
Yeah.
Of a story. How did this crocodile get here? They fed it.
Well, and that's also kind of perfect because, this is they are obviously reclusive people, or they wouldn't have chosen to be the only people who live on this lake. And so they seem like the kind of people who would get attached to a pet. And to think, well, this is its lake. It's our lake. We share this lake with this, to feel protective of the little bit of company that they get.
It is its lake.
It is.
It is. And I don't. Should they kill it? They do kind of get into the
They don't kill it.
They want to keep it alive, yeah.
And they don't kill it.
Yeah.
The end of this movie, they don't kill it.
They don't kill it.
So that's why I asked, is there a Lake Placid too? And does it have to do with this alligator? But I don't know if
crocodile.
Damn it.
I don't know what the sequels are. I think there are 4 sequels, all of them straight to TV. I haven't seen any of them. I meant to kind of do some research, but I didn't.
It's probably fine.
I'm sure it's fine, but I'm just curious. Are they the same characters, or is it just there's another lake and another crocodile?
Well, and for them to have left, it's just a nice movie. So they left the crocodile alive probably for that reason, but also it leaves it open-ended. Now there could be another adventure. Well,
and because the movie ends with crocodile babies in the lake and Betty White's feeding them.
Oh, that's true. So there's 2 ways that it could have. So it was a lady crocodile then. Oh. They took it.
So what happens next?
Oh, well, and there's another one that jumps out.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Oh, darn it.
What happens next is Oliver Platt throws a party in one of the tents. In our next clip.
Just a quick little pop-up
which
party.
I think is my favorite moment of the movie. So, okay, Brendan Gleeson doesn't like Oliver Platt. Like, what? This guy with his
He's a fruitcake.
humor and his frivolity. Yes. What is he doing? And Oliver Platt is winning all of Gleeson's deputies over to his side.
You're right.
He pays 2 of the deputies to dig a hole, and Brendan Gleeson's like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "He paid us $500 to dig a hole."
Trying to be brave.
And he's like, "I'm your boss, not him." And they're like, "But he paid us. He gave us a check." And so then Brendan Gleeson goes into the tent where Tom Jones is
not there,
is playing.
but playing.
Is playing. The music is playing in a clip I call "Hey."
Hey! You're an official business. This is not a party. Yeah, but now that you're here. Quiet.
Okay, that's the whole thing.
I just fucking love somebody angrily saying "Hey" and everybody else responding "Hey."
Well, now I love it too.
And then just a bunch of like, we gotta hunt the croc, gotta find the croc. Is the croc hunting us? I don't know. We'll try a bunch of things. Try lowering a cow. Well, wait. This is such a short and basic movie.
It's very short. Yeah.
What? There's just various sort of cat and mouse things. The crocodile starts stalking them, knocks them off their boat. They narrowly escape.
Wait, but that's not stalking them. They stuck baby noises in the water. Like, I mean, every time the crocodile comes, they've lured it. Like, he makes it very clear that he was. See, now, Oliver Platt's character wasn't just roughhousing. What? Causing a ruckus. No, shit. He did it intentional because he's like, no, they are attracted to, a disturbance. So he was trying to lure the alligator to the shore. Although those guys weren't. Damn it. Those guys weren't done digging the hole, so he could have just killed 2 guys by doing that. Mm-hmm. But he was setting traps the whole time and trying to trap it and lure it. So, yeah, no. At no point I didn't find any way that the crocodile ever seemed to be stalking or having any kind of like menacing behavior with them. He only shows up when an entire helicopter lands on the water.
Yeah, I meant stalking. Yeah, they invade its space and then it goes on the offensive against them. They have it coming, I think. Which the more I think about it, they do need to leave this crocodile alone. It naturally got here. It's not like this was not like the movie Alligator from 1980. A giant alligator gets loose in the sewers of Chicago because somebody gets it as a pet as a kid and then flushes it down the toilet, which is based on this New York City urban legend.
Yeah.
But that's not the case here. The crocodile just swam from Australia or whatever.
Right. Well, and the whole thing about this lake is that no one's there. Mm-hmm. And so you just put up a couple of signs, alligator, or fucking crocodile, whatever the hell it is. Then there you go, problem solved.
Yeah, animals move. That happens.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, the only reason there was even anyone there to die was because he was tagging beavers.
Yeah.
Well, this whole lake is known for being really still and flat. So you go poking around, and then you're going to let the alligator. I guess
that is the conflict.
Crocodile, what's wrong with me?
If we don't do something about this crocodile, we can't do our beaver business anymore.
And
we got to keep working that beaver. So
that's hot.
So, Betty White is feeding the crocodile. Shouldn't be doing that. So they use eminent domain to seize one of her cows.
Right. And this was back in a time when you could still put actual animals in danger for a movie. Mm-hmm. So that is a little hard to watch. Poor cow.
Oh, yeah.
Swinging from its big diaper.
Yeah. They built this. This is a set. This is all a set. They built a lake. They put up trees.
No.
Yeah. I mean, we have it playing right now. They have lots of footage of actual, giant lakes and stuff, but the actors are on a set, an artificial lake that they made for this movie.
Right here, right now.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's always the filming on water is always the worst. You're never supposed to film on water. It's a nightmare.
It does look amazingly lit. Now that you mention it.
That's why they did it.
And the parts where they're in the forest, like camping, there is something that feels very artificial about that space as well. Now that makes sense. It's just that had to be expensive. It's huge.
This was this movie costs $40 million, which is that's a lot of money, but it's not a giant.
Spend it on the lake.
giant budget, like not top of the industry blockbusters for the time, but it's just like, again, fucking, if this were today, it'd all be fucking a green screen.
They'd fuck the shit out of that green screen.
It would look like shit.
That green screen
It wouldn't feel real at all. No real light hitting real things.
But this is daylight, or are they inside of a?
They're inside. Wait,
Holy
actually, I
shit.
don't know that. I
Yeah,
don't know
they
that.
could just. It could be like Disney World-ish, where it's just contained.
Yeah.
It's a to make sure that there is nothing else in the water to hurt anyone.
Okay, we're now at our favorite. This is another clip I got. This is just us playing clips because this movie's so delightful.
It's so good.
Bridget Fonda, Brendan Gleeson, Bill Pullman are on the boat, and they find a deer carcass,
Moose.
whatever that the crocodile killed, and Brendan Gleeson picks it up to like look at it, and this is what happens: picking up the elk or the moose, pushes it in the boat.
You threw it at me!
I just let go of it.
You threw it at me! Did you see that? Oh!
Stop hitting me.
Don't throw heads at me!
Ma'am, it's
Stop
not his
calling me ma'am!
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God.
So, Sheriff, how many deputies you got?
How many deputies you got?
Because I'm gonna need more of them.
I guess, yeah. Credit to you that I find Bridget Fonda a girl, because she's you. If you slap somebody and then they say don't slap me, you'll slap them again. That's your move.
You gotta double down. You gotta stand your ground.
Yeah.
You gotta if you're gonna be slappy, you gotta be slap happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
Okay.
if you hit me, I'm like, you can't hit me. That's not an okay thing to do to people. We're not, and then you'll just hit me again.
Because people just like familiarity. So as long as you do it a lot, like, oh wait, I guess you do hit me.
And now it's the only way I can get aroused. Well,
Throw a moose at him.
they lower the cow into the lake, draw out the croc. They successfully capture the croc. No one dies.
With the helicopter.
Yeah, it's
it goes
cool.
through the helicopter. I did want to point out. I guess she maybe Bridget Fonda was just really fun to fling, but there are at least 3 times where she is flung from something. She goes into the air.
She does, yes.
Twice from a boat and one from a truck. Just
Very
woo!
airborne performance.
Yes, aerial. Air.
They successfully capture the crocodile in the helicopter, but then, oh, lo and behold, another crocodile.
Right. A little 10-footer.
Yeah, this is the baby. And they kill the baby, right?
Or is it the husband? Because
No, it's
there
a
are
baby.
babies.
This is the movie ends pretty shortly after this, and this is why I like Mandela affected like another act to this movie, because this does feel like kind of too small to be the big set piece of your action movie.
Again, that's why I think it wasn't even about the crocodile. It was about these actors, man.
No, I know, but
Oh.
if you're making a big studio movie, you're like, really, that's the climax. They capture the croc and that's it. I thought I was conflating it. I don't know what I was conflating it with, but I know there has to be the trope of we thought we captured the monster, but we only captured the monster's baby.
That does sound really familiar, actually.
Jaws 3, it happens in. What? There's got to be something. I know there's a major one. Other
If you're
one I'm
listening
forgetting.
to this, write in
Hashtag big monster baby.
adult
But
adult
because they're-
son's monster baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was where this was going is, oh shit, we only captured the baby, but then the baby pops up and they get the baby too. And then,
That one gets blown up.
yeah, all is well. Bridget Fonda and Bill Pullman decide they want to, we're attractive people. Let's go get a drink because this is an exciting couple of days. We'll
Right.
remember it forever. Maybe not the most defining incident of our lives. Then they kind of start bickering and Bill Pullman says, I miss that damn crocodile. It's nice.
It is not. Yeah, it's perfectly realistic. They're not promising us like happily ever after. It's like those 2 consenting adults want to see each other naked.
Another thing that would never happen in a movie today. Yeah.
Just
Even
casual ending.
Well, I mean, like any kind of sexual chemistry or it's funny that we've swung so much. Okay, wait. Tangent here.
Give it.
For so long in movies, you're like, Jesus, the male main character and the female main character have to be romantically interested in each other at the end of the movie. And it did get tired, and it was refreshing when they just respected each other as professionals or like had a
Right.
platonic friendship. But we are now so deprived of like romance and sex in movies, at least in like mainstream American movies. No one is allowed to be attracted to each other or do anything with each other that like, yeah, please bring back the gratuitous male and female main characters deciding to end up together romantically. Just fucking compare this to Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt in Jurassic World, where, you know, they give
So
each other
little
a chaste
fucking.
little peck. And then the next time we see them, they live on a compound together, like, you know, shooting the ATF and stuff.
Right.
They're married and they homeschool their little clone girl.
Right.
Yeah. We just bring back casual romance and sex
Right.
in movies. That's what
Right.
I'm saying. Do you agree?
Agreed.
I don't think you know what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
of course I do. Well, and she was in a movie called Singles and Single White Female. Isn't that interesting?
I guess.
And she's just living that single life. So I'm saying, living single.
Is Singles one of your movies?
It's definitely one that I saw several times, but it wasn't. No,
I've never seen it.
I can't remember.
I don't like Cameron Crowe movies. And but I remember Chuck Klosterman was obsessed with this movie, so I've always kind of been curious.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah, he has a whole part of a book on it.
But it's also
Or an essay.
fucking Gen X people obsessed with that.
It's
Like,
super Gen X. It's extreme.
yeah.
It's like, don't sell out.
So Singles episode next Friday.
Okay, great.
The final shot of the movie, which I definitely remembered more than anything else, was the giant crocodile on the back of a 18-wheeler.
Oh, I thought you were going to say all the tiny, tiny crocodiles coming to chew mommy's feet or nibble mommy's toes. Ugh. Betty White feeding her toes to the fucking.
And that's the end of this movie, 82 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it literally just go to 90 minutes, have, you know, elevate.
You're out of your
the set
mind.
piece at the end does feel like this is the pre-big actions. This is the thing that sets up the major
I don't
action.
like the formulaic feeling of it all. Like, I like that it subverts your expectations, but just ending, like, that's enough.
Okay. But I just disagree
The
because
giant crocodile got stuck in the whole helicopter.
we haven't talked about this, but the creature effects are by Stan Winston, the guy who did Jurassic Park, the best of all time at what he did. And for the most part, these are great looking practical effects.
Yeah.
They do some CGI bullshit.
What parts?
Just whenever the croc like spins around on land and stuff, when it chases people on land, you can tell.
Okay.
But Jurassic Park did that too. If you watch Jurassic Park now, the puppets look as good as ever, but especially if you like watch it on 4K, you're like, oh, now it's switching to CG, and it does kind of look like I'm playing a computer game.
Right.
But I mean, they're so great, so charming. This crocodile looks amazing. And the gore is great.
Good gore.
This is like, in some respects, kind of slashery, like a slasher movie. And
I mean, there's intestines.
Steve Miner knows what he's doing there. So that's why I say I just want like one more beat. Bring this up to 90 minutes, put a little more
Betty
violence.
White's foot off.
Wouldn't that be good? That'd be fun.
As long as she was still real cranky and saucy after, like still spunky, still herself.
It's
then
surprising that it is. I was certain Brendan Gleeson was going to die.
Oh no, I don't remember.
Because
I don't remember any sad
despite
parts.
his being basically the main character of the movie, or maybe the guy with the most screen time, on the poster, his name isn't on the poster. It's Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, Oliver Platt, Lake Placid.
Ooh.
Then when you watch the actual movie, Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, Oliver Platt, Brendan Gleeson, Lake Placid. Okay. So they did the thing where they have 4 people before the title, but on the poster they only put 3 people over the title.
I think that's a graphic design issue.
That's weird.
Okay.
And then also, why would he be 4th? Because this isn't alphabetical. I don't know. So I was like, okay, so he must die halfway through because he's been in almost every scene so far.
He would have been the 4th most notable actor at that time, though, too.
Probably.
Yeah. All of those actors had been working on recent things for years at this, and I don't remember him. I don't remember a lot of things that he was in at all. So there you go. And my memory,
your memory is impeccable.
Fantastic. Yes.
Yes, especially for actors and people. Do you think that Bill Pullman is like in this movie is like sort of a meta commentary on just like dumb leading men? Like,
I mean, they do give him the least to do. Well, if a lot of it was improv, then that makes sense. He just didn't have a lot to add. He's just kind of like, I'm who you're going to fuck at the end.
I don't know how much
What's
of it improv in like just in your little bickerings you can kind of go with it.
Yeah, but even there, he had the least to add. He's got a good straight man face. What do you call it? I'm so sick of not knowing how to say things. But he's not a comedian.
Yeah.
And the other three are. I think they're all funny.
He's funny. I mean, he's
fine. He keeps up. But he's not leading man material in this.
Lakes are where we can get out of here soon, but I just wanted to talk about this final thing.
Okay.
Tell me if you agree with this? Lakes are
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're
creepy.
Cold. Creepy.
Why?
Because it's contained. Don't you think that's why? There's whatever flows into it doesn't necessarily come out of it.
Yeah, I think it's this all the water. It's just staying
It's
here.
just staying there.
Why is it staying? Well, that's weird.
Well, and whatever lives in there is very territorial of it because it's like an island or like a one-way or a dead-end street. You only go there if you live there. So they're not used to other things coming in. They're going to be more territorial things because there's not rushing water. There's lots of little compartments and places to build a home out of whatever for like snakes and fucking beavers or whoever. So there's just so much more like tenants. There's too many occupants. Nope, occupants.
Do you find? Tell me if you find this creepy. The bottom of a lake.
Ugh,
touch it with your foot.
It's so mushy.
Yeah.
It's so slimy.
Gross.
It's the worst. Yeah. Even the ones that have sand like leading into them, because at Conroe, Texas, where we go camping every now and then, you walk in on like that mushy, weird mud sand. You know?
Yeah, it's gross. It's fucking disgusting.
But the further you get out, the more untouchable it is. And because of scary movies, because they need so much depth to be able to get that underneath shot for like Jaws and for this movie and any movie with a fucking swimming pool, but it just seems so deep. If I don't know where the bottom is, that freaks me the fuck out.
But
and it gets colder the further down you go, where that's not true of the ocean. I mean, you're never out far enough to feel that. The water's always moving on a beach, but in a lake, if you let yourself kind of like fall, it gets colder and colder.
But like Lake Pontchartrain, which is the big giant lake near where we live,
brag,
is not deep. It's only 6 feet at its deepest. Yes.
What?
And I find that really creepy
it's
too.
Huge.
I
That's
know.
fucking weird.
Yeah, it is
it's a
very
big
shallow.
puddle.
It is very shallow.
Oh, that is because if you went off the side of the bridge and put your car in there, you'd crash on
Into
the
bottom.
land.
Yeah.
It's fucking rude.
It might be probably deeper than 6 feet at points, but it is a shallow lake. The furthest out I've ever been in it, you could still walk.
Okay.
And I've gone far. I tried to
how far, Matt.
Pretty far. Okay. Do you know where the shack is?
No,
you wouldn't. But me and my brother tried to go out there. Got too tired.
Okay.
And I'm creeped out just remembering that. Ew.
Slimy. Lakes are gross.
So final thoughts.
Lakes are gross.
Lakes are gross. Betty White's good. Bill Pullman's good. Bridget Fonda, Oliver Platt, Brendan Gleeson good. Steve Miner good. David E. Kelly, not so great at writing this script, but Stan Winston, good. Practical effects and sex. Bring it back in movies.
Bring it back. Effects and sex. I've been saying it.
This is a call.
You've been...
Hollywood, you listening?
You've been put on notice. I'll stop attending your movies. Personally. Count my ticket out. As they say. They don't say that.
So, didn't we want to start... I did want to start. I always mean to do like a final rating.
Oh, I have a rating system now.
You what?
I do. Hold on. I gotta pull it up.
Is it a complete coincidence that I just said? I told you
I was gonna make my own rating system. This movie has a perfect 5. I hate to like spoil that, but my criterion are people to like / relationships to care about, a 5. Subverts expectations, a 5. Pace, 5. This bitch is on wheels. Skates. Tone / vibes, a 5. And rewatchability, a 5. So this movie got a 5.
Rewatchability. I don't know. I wouldn't.
I just watched it again today.
Oh, but I don't know if I demand rewatchability from a movie.
I'm not.
Is that the
That's why
job?
this is my criteria, not yours.
Oh, okay.
This is my rating system. I didn't make a rating system for the both of us. Idiot.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'll really unveil this rating system whenever we do our Mission Impossible ranking coming soon after we watch all the other movies.
Yeah, we're gonna do a video where we rank the Mission Impossible
Yeah,
movies.
so
I'm looking forward
subscribe to
it.
our Patreon and you'll get the
No,
extra
YouTube.
content. Shut up, Matt. I want them to send us $5. That's how you trick them. You tell them to send us a Patreon.
That
Okay.
doesn't fill you with dread.
I will
That
take
idea?
that $15 and I will spend it with love. No. I want $15.
Being financially, contractually obligated to produce content.
They could just stop paying if we stop making content. Ugh, you're such a pussy. I
Well,
want the money.
I give this 3.5 stars. This is you asked the other night, like as we were getting into bed.
I thought you were going to say as we were climaxing, because
As
we
we-
always climax together.
Always. That's why our marriage has lasted the longest it has. As we started a
Simultaneous
podcast.
Cummings.
And so as we were simultaneously climbing into bed, get your mind out of the gutter.
Gosh, how tall is our bed? Gotta climb in.
Like a sitcom, we were like summarizing the events of the episode of our lives, and you said, "Is that the best movie we've ever watched for our show?" And I was like, "Well, we've done Citizen Kane and The Godfather, but I think yes."
Okay, good.
Is what we're saying. Guys, watch Lake Placid.
Watch it. Do
It's
yourself
great.
a flavor.
That's all I've got.
Okay, good.
Hey,
well,
wait,
hey,
that's
what?
not
Fuck,
that's
Matt.
not the end. Sorry. The music of Load Bearing Beams is by Rural Route 9. That's my band. Thank you, Wade
Don't wear it
Hemel.
out.
Please look up our music on Spotify. Please watch Load Bearing Beams on YouTube, youtube.com/Load
Yes,
Bearing Beams.
do that. Where you can, we have faces and we use them.
We're hearing good things. We are. We are.
From who?
The people out there. You're hearing it more and more.
You are.
And don't
There's
we love
comments.
it, folks? Don't you love to hear it?
I do love it.
That's it.
Okay. I love you.
All right.
Goodbye. 2, 3.
4. Everybody, love bearing beams.